We're live in downtown Grand Rapids. The city selected to host the first debate with all 4 Republican candidates for governor.
I'll appreciate you sticking with that so we can get as many questions as possible, including this first one starting for you, Dr. HINES. Unless the legislature acts on its own to adopt a resolution, a ballot initiative to legalize marijuana, that will be on the ballot in November. Do you support the legalization of marijuana? And are you concerned, as some have suggested, that because of the passion of the people who do support that if you do not support the legalization, that those people may turn out in big numbers at the polls, consequently making it more difficult for any candidate that doesn't support that legalization?
I don't support the legalization of recreational marijuana. I think that would be bad. There's a ton of research that needs to yet be done. The interactions with medicine, what kind of cancer does it cause, the impact on memory, your ability to work. And so I think that there's a ton of work that needs to be done. But if it's passed, I think that we have to deal with it. And we have to know that the bus driver that's driving your kids is not under the influence of marijuana. We need to figure out how do we keep it out of the hands of minors. And so there are a lot of things that need to be discussed and worked through as a government to make sure that it can be as safe as possible. But I do not support the legalization of recreational marijuana.
Senator Colbeck.
Well, first let me be clear. I will respect the will of the people as expressed at the ballot box. So if they make it legal, I'll respect that will. But I'm telling you, I personally am opposed to it, and here's why. Right now, I have 31,000 job openings in my district. Businesses are still putting drug tests out there for employees. If you're smoking recreational marijuana, you're not going to pass that drug test. And I don't want our government assistance roles to increase. I actually want to get people gainfully employed so that they can get a good job, take care of their families. If we go down this route, I think we're going to see an increase in our government assistance costs, and that's not a road that I want to take Michigan down. We finally got our fiscal house in order, and this has an opportunity to actually bankrupt our state. It's not a course I'd like to pursue, but we'll make it work no matter what happens.
Lieutenant Governor Kelly.
I do not support recreational marijuana, but I want to be clear that I will respect the vote of the people. I do support medical marijuana, on the other hand. In fact, it's becoming more and more clear that it may have a role to play in defeating the opioid addiction epidemic. But this is an opportunity, I think, for a clear contrast. Bill Schuette led the charge against medical marijuana, and even after the will of the voters was decided and the support was enormous, he still continued to fight against the will of the voters, keeping patients from the medicine that they need. So I think it's important that we all speak up on what we think about this initiative. But when the voters have their say, their will must stand.
Attorney General Schuette.
I'm opposed to the legalization of marijuana, but I think citizens across the state will have the opportunity to vote and democracy will prevail. I'm concerned about putting more drugs in the hands of kids, and the opioid epidemic that is raging across Michigan and America is real. You know, recently we had more prescriptions for opioids than there are people in the state of Michigan. And I was at an event in Oakland County last week. I met a woman who shared with me that her son had died through opioid overdose, and it breaks your heart. And we need to crack down on the pill mill docs. We need to, crack down on the heroin dealers that peddle this heroin to those who are in the grip of addiction. And I have an interdiction unit at the Department of Attorney General to do just that. President Trump asked me to come to the White House to discuss the issue of opioids and how the federal government and the states can work together. I think that's another reason why President Trump endorsed me as governor of the state of Michigan.